Welcome, everyone. My name is Bailey Brown with the Eagle newspaper. I'm joined by Mayor Andrew Nelson today. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, it's an honor.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Absolutely. So considering you're about to move on to your next chapter, I was hoping you could maybe take me a little back. Did you always know you wanted to be involved in local government from a young age, or how did you get to this point where you're at now?
Well, not really. I've always loved serving. When you're young, they say on the airplane, they say put oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on the kids. Well, when you're a young adult, you're trying to get the oxygen mask on yourself. You're trying to just take care of yourself. And in the early years of my life, even early years of marriage, very focused on myself. And then when we had kids, so we got to make sure we're taking care of the kids. But at some point, you get to a level where you want to do more than just make sure that you're caring for your family. And always loved the idea of serving. After 9/11, I actually wanted to join the military. We had a newborn baby, and my wife made very clear that I was going to need to find other ways to serve, to allow those that serve us, to justify their sacrifices by living a life worthy of their service, but also finding other ways to serve them and others. So enjoyed creating Brazos Valley Cares for veterans and their families, being in Boy Scouts, serving in Little League, and doing those types of things. Really never thought about elected volunteer service. Most people don't realize the mayor is a volunteer job. If you want the money, which I said I don't, it's $10 a month, so 30 cents a day for the honor. But it has been a true honor. I've loved doing it, but I never planned on doing it. In fact, I said first time people came to me and said, we really would love to see you run for mayor. I won't say what I said on the air, but it was a less polite version of heck no. But I started looking into who was going to be mayor. You just assume these things happen, and there's always people who will do it. And I saw a divided council. I was concerned. I asked people like Ann Horton and who'd served, hey, you should be mayor, because she would have been a better mayor than me, but she was off building an orphanage, and so many people, it's a small group of people that do so much in the community and make things happen, and they seemed otherwise engaged in other very important things. So ultimately, I decided to do it. But I didn't grow up saying, hey, when I grow up, I want to be the mayor.
Right.
It never even crossed my mind, but it has been such an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Bryan College Station, because you're serving the whole community, not just those that elect you.
Absolutely. Would you say your family, when you had told them that you were going to run, and of course they were in support, but was there anybody that was like, oh, wow, we didn't see this for you or anything, or they were all, this is where you need to be?
My wife, Shelley, has been instrumental in everything that I've done in providing me support. Our kids were, ending middle school and one in high school. It was a sacrifice for them. And I talked to them about it. Told them I wasn't going to do it unless they all were behind it. And, they were incredible. And they serve in their own ways. We were won a family service award with Rotary because of the work our kids do with flags and just different things. And so, I really appreciate the support that my children gave. It took time, and especially Shelley. She's at events. She accepts that, I get called away on a dime, and every plan that we make is all subject to, you never know what the city is going to have coming up. So I really thank my family.
Oh, very well said, sir. I'm sure they're more than excited for you, and especially now getting the chance to have Dad back and be available just a little bit more.
It's a double-edged sword, but yes.
Awesome. Well, sir, in your time as mayor, obviously you were elected in 2016, and I know many things have happened since then, but what do you feel have been your greatest achievements for the citizens of Bryan?
Well, I don't think about it as sort of my achievements. We do this together. Ultimately, the people elect a council, so it's the community that makes that investment, those decisions. They're the ones that support what we do. We have incredible staff at the city of Bryan. Our city manager, his staff, our city attorney, our city secretary, our municipal judge, our direct reports and all of their staff do such an incredible job. You learn that after 6 years of serving as mayor. But when I came in 2016, I told people they could count on several things from me. They could count on me to keep our community safe, to invest in infrastructure, to focus on parks and entertainment, to improve our workforce and promote economic development and private sector job creations. And they all flow in together. You have to do it. If you're not financially healthy, none of that is sustainable. So there's a lot of things that I'm really proud that we've accomplished together in all of those areas. I'm happy to get involved in details, but because I haven't told you any details, but those are the things I said that people could count on, and I feel like we've made significant progress in every area.
Absolutely. Do you want to mention a couple?
Well, I mean, police, I couldn't be more proud of our police department. This is such a tough environment. You look at what happened in Minneapolis. You look at even one inappropriate conduct from a police officer is one too many. But in the last 6 years, our BPD has had around 300,000 contacts, almost no complaints. When we investigate it, what we've determined from this is our police department is the absolutely best trained, very professional. It's not just a noble profession. They are well trained. It's not just we want to get it right. We're trained to do that, and I thank our taxpayers for equipping them. Also, when I grew up, for decades, Bryan had earned a reputation for being two cities and two different communities. We talk about two cities, one community, Mayor Mooney and I together. With crime, it used to not be that way, but I'm proud of both cities as we have grown dramatically. Both cities' total Part 1 crime, as reported by the FBI, has gone down. Bryan's dramatically. It's been cut in half. In fact, right now we are two cities, one community. We have comparable Part 1 crime. I'd say we're both safe. Aggieland is a safe community. We can do better. One crime is one too many. But in the last 6 years, Bryan's actually had less total Part 1 crime than College Station for 6 straight years. So, we're going to probably have to keep doing that for a long time for people to stop talking about how Bryan is the unsafe city. We're a wonderfully diverse, safe city, and I'm proud of that. I'm also proud of the way the police chief, command staff, every single sworn officer and staff works to do that. And I'd also like to thank the association for how they operate. The police association, I can talk to anyone. We can work to solve problems. I can educate myself on budgets, what the police needs, what are the issues. I don't have to worry about walking in a minefield when I talk to them about sensitive topics, so I want to thank them. And as a special note to our fire union, as an outgoing elected official who's always enjoyed the benefits of their endorsement, I think they should probably follow the lead of what our Police Officers Association does, because when you're always worried about a political endorsement and political season, it inhibits good communication, inhibits the very things that our fire association wants to achieve. So I think they would do better in by following the lead of police. And as proud as I am of the things we've done in fire, I think we've funded our law enforcement in this difficult environment even more. But I think we've done both. I want to thank the fire department as well. I'm incredibly proud of the support our community and taxpayers have shown to both our fire and police departments. Our fire department, we are one of the rare communities that still puts 4 people on either a fire engine or a hook and ladder. And that's not just one person. There's 3 shifts a day. So that's 3 people per engine. So we're talking about 18 more employees that are highly trained and very expensive that the taxpayers of our community are willing to put onto these fire trucks to give us a better way of keeping our people safe and keeping our citizens safe. Incredible investment. 87% of our property tax and sales tax is going to public safety. Doesn't leave much for anything else. So I'm proud of that. The fact that our citizens have supported not just this council, but prior councils in those areas have been incredible. But they're demanding that we be smart. They're demanding that we look at everything that we're doing and make sure that we keep our community safe, but do it in the smartest possible way.
Absolutely.
So infrastructure, proud of BTU. We went through it felt like a hurricane. We went through Winter Storm Uri.
That's right.
And, we were one of the very few public utilities to operate 100%, to never go down during that storm. We won statewide awards for how we operated. I'm so proud of BTU for in the investigation, Senate hearings that happened. They said if every public utility had operated the way BTU had operated, we probably wouldn't have had near the problems we had statewide. So
Wow.
proud of the way they're operating, proud of our infrastructure. You know, we're a 150-year-old city, and I told people they could count on us to focus on that. We put nearly $18 million a year for our roads, for our drainage, sewer, water projects, and that's incredible. I told people they could count on parks and entertainment. So I'm very pleased. We can get into more of that later. But Destination Bryan, what we've done in downtown with so many new businesses, $10 million 4-star Marriott now coming into downtown Bryan, the Quiet Zone, which we're still working on, but we funded that. We've got it
Right.
done, and it's a project we have to work at the speed of the federal government on that, but we're getting it done. What we're doing out at Lake Walk, near the Bio Corridor is incredible with new retail, a new sushi restaurant coming, the business growth. Midtown Park.
That's right.
That's incredible. We can probably talk more about Midtown Park, but the new baseball fields, softball fields, a world-class training academy for softball and baseball, the Legends Event Center, where we're going to have so many indoor opportunities and meeting spaces, public-private partnerships that actually pay for all this, so our taxpayers
Right.
don't have to feel the burden of it through big shots, interesting entertainment, food and beverage options for golf. This new SMBG that just got approved
That's right,
this
yes.
week. It's incredible. We're going to have an amphitheater, a beautiful boardwalk on an expanded lake, a cleaned up lake, indoor-outdoor pickleball, a brewery, restaurants. We're going to have bowling, movie theaters, all kinds of indoor and outdoor gaming. And we've got miles of walking trails all amidst this, and a green belt that goes right all the way through it. It's the balance that our citizens said they wanted. So very proud in fulfilling that. A fourth area I told people they could focus on is that we would count on our support as workforce. We won a statewide CTAT award for partnering with the school district to create a 100-acre career technology education campus.
Wow.
We saved the school district tens of millions of dollars in doing it, and we allowed ourselves to have a premier technology education center that helps us attract money from outside our community. We have people now coming in to put major investments with high-wage jobs because of that center.
Wow.
All these things that we have as a 150-year-old city, all the infrastructure we have to do, all the money we spend to keep people safe, it's got to come from somewhere. And if we don't
Right.
want to raise people's taxes, we've got to focus on that job creation. I'm very proud of what we've done. And we've done it in a way while keeping the city financially healthy. We're one of the only cities that now has our employee retirement system fully funded. Where most people kick that can down the road and just hope and cross their fingers that they
Right.
won't be the ones to deal with it. We dealt with it. We dealt with it when rates were low. We could get good bond rates and borrow to fund that. And now as rates have gone up, we just look smarter and smarter. Our CFO did an incredible job with that. Our bond rating is low. We have 100 days cash. All that helps all these things that we're doing. So that's my summary of the things I told people they could count on in all 5 of those areas. And I want to thank staff, the council, and ultimately our citizens and taxpayers for trusting us to get it all done.
Wow, sir, very, very well said, and so much. As you were mentioning those things, I was having a beautiful visual because I know people are looking forward to, especially everything at Travis Bryan Midtown Park and things like that.
Yeah.
So exciting. So congratulations on all of that and the council's achievement as well. And just off of that, I know you just mentioned Winter Storm Uri, but was there any other? I know we had the pandemic and some economic issues with inflation. Any other large obstacles that you saw the council was able to power through?
Sure. There's always obstacles. As you can tell from my summary, I try to focus on the things where we were
course.
able to move forward.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, no one would have wanted a pandemic. No one wants a plague on you when
Right.
you're serving. But it was an honor to serve through that. I'm proud of everyone in our community. We had no idea what we were doing the first day of this.
Right.
I called Mayor Mooney in College Station. I called the county judge, Judge Dwayne Peters. I called up the Chancellor Sharp and Chancellor Hensley at Blinn and Texas A&M's Chancellor Sharp. Called the presidents. I called the superintendents from both school districts.
Right.
Called up all the CEOs of the hospitals. I said, let's go and have a daily huddle. We tried to, first day it was about an hour and a half. We tried to get it down to 15 to 30 minutes a day. We met every day.
Wow.
Almost every day for 6 months. And then we set up bi-weekly meetings, and it wasn't just meeting to go schedule a conference room. We were coordinating. We were all sharing, who's got who's got protective gear. We didn't
Right.
even know what we had I didn't know how many beds we had in
Wow.
hospitals. It's not something that we had planned for as a region, because it's not just the city of Bryan that was
Right.
impacted.
Right.
And it's not just the county that was impacted. Anyone within a region could come here.
Yep.
And you could be in Houston and say, I'd rather go and get my care in Bryan College Station. We didn't have any rules telling anyone, here's the only place you can go. And we're trying to manage that. So proud of our health district's leadership. So proud of all of the people that worked and cooperated and collaborated. Ambassador Burks from the federal administration, the Trump administration, came and visited us, and she said at the time, I have visited 17 different cities in Texas, 17 different communities. You are by far managing this better than anyone. What's your solution? What are you doing? And I said, we're communicating. We're working together. Almost consistently, you saw us speaking with one voice. So it was not just two cities, one community. It was the Brazos Valley and certainly Brazos County speaking with one voice. And I'm proud of what we accomplished. Winter Storm Uri was awful. We had to donate 30+% of our power that we generated to save the grid in Texas. I'm proud that we were able to do that. I thank the people in Bryan and College Station and the rural areas that were affected by that. I thank them. They didn't exactly have a choice. We were required to do that, but they suffered on behalf of all the other people in Texas whose utilities were not able to stay operational during the storm. But I'm proud of BTU and I'm proud of our citizens. So there are other things that happen, but when we sometimes have issues with our neighbors, and we work through them. But those were the two main challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right to say
Pardon
that.
me for coughing.
No problem. It did impact the world, of course, but to know that Brazos County was able to get through it, and y'all were able to meet. I love that y'all were meeting weekly and daily. I think that's great for people to know that there was that.
The hospitals worked so well together. Our school districts worked well together. I mean, there was a level of collaboration. Caprock, small hospital, but they were a big part. Dr. Young did an incredible job, and these guys gave so much. And there's so many ways you can serve, and you never know when you're going to be called to serve. When the time was right, when their hour was there, they rose to the occasion, and I'm so proud of them.
Very well said, sir. Thank you for going over those things, and I'm glad as well that you were able to get through them, because it was a difficult time. Any other projects maybe outside of City Council that you've enjoyed being a part of? I know you've done a lot of volunteer work, nonprofits. There was the Queen, all those exciting things,
Yeah. The Grandview Cemetery is particularly exciting to me. When Councilman Madison came to me with that project, I looked at it and I saw 40+ years of really good reasons why the city did not get heavily involved to solving the fact that we had this historic African American cemetery, was not owned by the city, owned by private lands, by private individuals. Couldn't find the private individuals, but still there were private property rights. We can't spend taxpayer dollars on things without getting something back by state law. I mean, there's just so many complications on how we could be a part of that. There are 100 good reasons for us not to have been involved in that. But it just took one great reason and some creative, call them loopholes, call it problem solving. We found a creative way to bring Grandview Cemetery to dignity, to respect. And I'm proud of Councilman Madison for touching my heart, and Miss Washington and many others for touching my heart and helping me see that we had to find a way to do something. And I also thank the council, because when Councilman Madison and I came and championed it, the council was supportive. Staff did their wonderful, as professionals, did a great job of working. We had, we had it was a wonderful thing. You're now seeing at the new Cana over on the west side, and again, it's far outside of the city of Bryan. It's not even in the city limits, so we have fewer ways to actually help that cemetery. But after what we've done in Grandview, we now have the Daughters of the American Revolution local chapter here, going and bringing that to dignity as well.
Wow.
One of my dearest friends, she's almost like family. She has several people buried out in that cemetery, and we went out there to put a gravestone on her mother's grave, and it was the first time she could even get to it because it's being cleaned up, and that came because of what we did at Grandview. So you see, you make this investment, you do these things, and it's amazing to see where it goes. So that's probably something that it's a side project that became very important. And who knows, when we had this awful national unrest because of what happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there were a lot of people that localized a national issue.
Right.
I'm proud of the fact that in Bryan, our African American community was very supportive of the city of Bryan, Bryan Police Department, and our community, because they knew we're not just a bunch of neighborhoods that care only about our neighborhoods and
Right.
don't worry about the other people in our community. We care about everyone in Bryan. We demonstrate that before a crisis happens, whether it's our police department, whether it's our leadership, our staff. We do that, and you never know. That's not why we did it, but I always wonder, years looking back on it, these are the things that we do year after year in Bryan that demonstrate that we love everyone, that we're happy to have a safe, diverse community, that we're not afraid of people who might not look just like us. And you never know when that can help you. But I'm very proud of what Councilman Madison and the whole council did with Grandview Cemetery.
Wow, beautiful, awesome. And I'm sure, like you said, it's impacted so many people's lives that you weren't expecting it to impact. So that's beautiful. Was there anything in your time as mayor, from 2016 to now, that you wish you had done differently?
Yeah, there's always things that you wish you had done differently. I try not to dwell on the past
Right.
too
No,
much
of
because
course.
there's not much we can do,
Right.
as well as not dwelling on accomplishments either.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's always some things that you could do differently, but I wouldn't change a thing, because that was the authentic way in which the last 6 years unfolded. So
Absolutely.
I'm not going to dwell on that.
Yeah.
I know personally I'm not perfect,
Right.
but I've known that for a long, long, long time. And
No,
and
I
if
hear
I
you.
ever don't mention that often, I have a wife who will make sure that
Right. Yep.
she keeps me humble, and I can just say it's been an honor serving, and I appreciate everyone's patience while we've muddled through municipal government. But I think we run pretty lean. I'm so proud of our staff, so proud of the council members that have helped us get the things done that we've been able to do, and appreciative that our community has been patient with us as some things have taken longer, and you make hundreds and hundreds of decisions as an elected official. Everyone, there's no chance that you're going to bat 1,000, right?
Right.
There's always decisions that someone in the community is disagreeing with, or it's not a decision worth making, right? So after 6 years, I'm sure everyone can point to mistakes that they think I've made, and I respect that. That's part of democracy,
Right.
and again, with 90,000 plus citizens here, even if 90% agree to me, that would leave thousands and thousands of people who
Right.
think I'm an idiot and have gotten it all wrong on a certain topic. So I appreciate listening to people, operating as well as we can, and then letting the chips fall where they've fallen, and I'm proud of the results.
Absolutely, sir. Just two final questions here. Major one, I'm sure people are curious. What's next for you?
Well, I am not retired. When I agreed to take this journey, I still am the CEO of my software company, and we're adding a few companies in. We've acquired a few companies, and we're expanding. We're in 24 offices around the world, have about 400 employees and nearly 2,000 customers. So I need to get back to them, and the management the management for my software company is an extension of my family, not just because of our culture at the software company, but they really are. They're like family. And when I agreed to be mayor, I talked to them to make sure they would support it. My chairman in Belgium supported. He actually said, Andrew, you don't know this, but years before we met, I actually ran for mayor. And although I didn't win, I understand wanting to serve your community. So if you decide you want to do it, I'll be supportive as your business partner, but only if you win.
There you
And,
go.
yeah, I think what
He
he
added
meant
that.
was don't half do it and waste
Right.
everyone's time.
Right.
If you're going to take the time, do the time to get it done, win, and go serve and do what you need to do. And I thank him for, he lives in Belgium, but he understands community engagement and service. And that was wonderful. And then my management team that really had to pick up and change the way they operate, because we're a small company. We don't have 20,000 employees, 50,000 employees, but they needed to bring solutions to me, summarize problems, operate more like a larger company with my time, knowing that so much of my time was going to be spent for our citizens in the city of Bryan, and they've done a great job. But it's time to get back. I'm excited about getting back to my software company and returning to private life. I'm excited about the new leadership. These elections have given us another young, business-minded, diverse council. I'm so excited that we have the first Hispanic mayor for the city of Bryan. I think Bobby Gutierrez will do a great job. I love that he didn't run on being the first Hispanic, but
Right.
again, we're over 40% Hispanic in the city of Bryan.
Yeah.
I love that this city, which is wonderfully diverse, is happy to elect a minority to lead them, and to not even think it's a big deal, and it shouldn't be a big deal. So that's a wonderful thing. I'm excited to let that new leadership lead, not micromanage from the past mayor's
Right.
seat. That's not what I want to do, and it doesn't serve our democracy. I'll be there to answer calls when people ask. If people want some help, I'm certainly not going to disappear. But you're not going to see me, talking from the sidelines and second guessing our leadership. But it's time to get behind new leadership, and I just so optimistic for the future of Bryan.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Any words of advice for our next mayor?
Well, he and I are very close friends. I would just say, the toughest thing to do is doing, and I would give this to any mayor. It just
Right,
happens to
right.
be Bobby, but I would tell any mayor, the toughest thing to do is, in a small community like we have, is to always do what's best for Bryan, even when it can hurt close friendships, even when it can hurt people who've been supporting you. Those things are tough to do. I mean, in big cities, maybe you don't ever have to worry about that because there's so many. But that's one thing, and I think Bobby will do very well with that. But making the right decision, even when it's painful, even when people may be upset, that's tough. And every decision is not black and white. There's a lot
Right.
of gray. So there's a lot of listening to citizens and hearing their thoughts to help you be a better decision maker. But so often, in the laboratory of a university, you can go research something for decades before you ever say, make a decision about what you need to do. Leadership is about making decisions with limited information and under serious time constraints, and getting it right, using wise discretion to get it right more often than not, wishing you had more time and information. And so listen to the experts, listen to the citizens, make the best decisions you can, and let the chips fall where they fall.
Very well said. Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your time that you served as mayor, and best of luck to you as you continue on your future endeavors and your company, and I think all the citizens thank you.
You bet. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the role that you and our other media have played in the community. God bless you. God bless our community, and God bless the city of Bryan.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.